Good afternoon. I'm Dorothy with Channel 6, and we're here for Community Focus. And we have some wonderful folks that we're going to focus on today. And this is Miss Jeanette Cantrell. And Jeanette, I know you have been here a number of years, and you are married to one of the most famous men in Bardstown, and a winner of a big award last year. And I know that you're going to share some things with us today, just how you got there. So we're here today, and Jeanette, you want to just kind of start out?
We ended up in Bardstown in 1971 after spending a year at Berea College, where Jim was a potter in residence. And we wanted, when he decided to leave the teaching, he wanted to look for a small town near a metropolitan area that was already handling his work. Mm-hmm. We happened to stumble through Bardstown. It was at that point where I didn't want to go because we'd already been through several small towns, and I thought, oh, this is going to be difficult. But he had seen a billboard saying, visit historic Bardstown. So he said, it's on the way back to Berea, we're going to drive through. Well, we drove through, and it was Mayberry. Mm-hmm. We said, this is it. This is it. Luckily, we were led to the abandoned, vandalized Spalding Hall because the preparatory school for boys had closed. And we looked at it and we said, oh my God, it's much larger than what we need, but we'd be willing to move in and see what could develop. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, Gus Wilson was mayor at the time. Bob Heaton Sr. was very involved with the drama. And, you know, it was just the right mix of people.
At the right time.
At the right time. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to rent that space, and didn't intend to stay as long as we did. We needed a place where we could live and work. Mm-hmm. And Jim had a painting studio, a pottery studio. We had 2 children who were 4 and 5 years old at the time. And our children grew up in that building. That is their home. Mm-hmm. We were there 26 years.
Oh my goodness.
Before we bought this place and moved. And fortunately, this place was already zoned commercial, so it was perfect. A block away. Mm-hmm. Don't ever move a block away. It takes 6 months because you just keep moving. You just keep moving.
So here we are in this beautiful gallery today, which is your home as well. Yes. So that way you can work and live in the same place. And I think a lot of folks are looking forward to that in their retirement years. They're just, as they get older, they don't want to run around quite as much as they used to, myself included. I kind of like staying home. And so this is just a wonderful place. I know whenever I come in here, it's just so inspiring. Yeah. Can we kind of just look around a little bit and you can show a few pieces?
We have now been in Bardstown 47 years, surviving as an independent artist and an art gallery for 47 years. I find it to be miraculous myself.
And certainly one of the oldest.
Yes, I think we might be the oldest private art gallery in Kentucky. There are a lot of nonprofit organizations and places that are still in existence that I remember when we first moved in 71. Mm-hmm. But I don't know a lot of the private galleries that we were affiliated with and knew are gone. New ones have cropped up, but we're still...
But you're still here. You're still here. And I think part of that you owe to Jim's ability to start out at one thing and move right into the next.
Yes.
And very graciously, and then his following just follows right along with you and moves on to whatever that is. I know it was very exciting when just a couple years ago he became the first Kentucky artist to create a derby poster. And I believe we have one of those right over here.
He was the first Kentucky artist commissioned by Churchill Downs.
Okay.
To be the official.
I can pick one of these up here.
There should be the Kentucky Derby poster and also the Oaks. And we were astounded when they called and told him they would like him to be the official artist, and we said, "Are you sure?" But apparently they had called for recommendations, and his name kept popping up from art museums and art people that they had contacted. We found out that there were 14 people that were being considered, and they said his name kept being mentioned, so they decided he was the one.
I think because he has such a unique take on things, and I think over the years it's just evolved into this.
Yes, I think he's so versatile, and it's one thing to be versatile, but to be able to create in different medium and do it all well. You know, it's not as if he can do oils really well and watercolors, well, maybe not so, and the pottery. I mean, he is
amazing at every different medium. I know right behind us, I'm looking at these watercolors.
Those are his newest.
Oh,
calls them his backyard friends.
His backyard friends. And they're just beautiful.
Decided that, you know, we watch the birds when we sit out and have coffee and have just a wonderful time. And his work is now in 16 art museums across the country.
Wow.
Across the country.
Across the country.
We just got a notification from the Albright Kemper Museum in St. Joseph, Missouri.
Oh my goodness.
They want to do a retrospective the end of 2021. Jim says, well, I might not even be here by then.
Well, I think when you look that far ahead, though, you know what? It's setting some incredible goals for him, and I'm sure
absolutely.
he will want to accomplish that.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. We're excited about it. We'd be thrilled if the Speed Museum wanted to do that, but they don't do local Kentucky artists.
And isn't that sad?
It is sad.
It is sad that they don't.
It would be a real honor, and I think it would really enlarge their audience if they could focus on an area. I mean, he did have a one-man show at their 8-state rental and gallery space in 1985. And it was huge success.
Well, I think a lot of times, you know, you take this for granted because you have lived with Jim all these years. You take it for granted that he is very, very good at what he does. He's not good. He is just exceptional. I know I have, you know, I love museums. We have traveled a lot of different places and looked at a lot of beautiful things, and never have I found someone that you just keep going back to it. You just can't. It draws you in, and I think with a lot of his pieces that way. Well, and having a muse that is Miss Jeanette.
I'm not sure I'm the muse, but
well, you know, so many different pictures that have you in them.
Yes.
And himself as well.
And I feel like I'm my calling is to be the archivist, to take care of the business, so his mind doesn't have to focus on that. And most artists, our daughter is an artist, I know other artists, they're not interested in taking care of the nitty-gritty. I document all of his work. I can now photograph it myself. I arrange for when we enter a juried competition, I do that kind of work. So it's...
Sure.
And not only does he do the shipbuilding and the oils and the watercolors, he also makes our furniture if he needs it.
Oh my goodness.
I made this table, made that. When we were first married, he made our table and chairs.
Oh my goodness.
I kicked myself for not saving them. Not listening to him saying, well, we can't move that, we can't move that. We should have moved it.
Should have moved that. Well, but, this is just a beautiful area down here. And you had mentioned the ships, and we do have one right here behind us. And do you want to step over here and just kind of Just, well, you can be on that side and
I
just kind of show
believe
us.
This is the America's Cup. I hope I'm saying the right
Okay.
model or style. He builds these from scratch. He does not use any kits or whatnot. He makes everything from scratch. And I don't know if you can see. I mean, it's got
The detail.
little wheel.
And I just touched this, and it's the rudder.
If the rudder works.
Uh-huh.
He's got the little boat for, I guess, if you capsize, you can save yourself in the little boat.
Uh-huh.
He makes the sails. He does the sewing. As a matter of fact, when he does a painting like the one behind you,
Mm-hmm.
He makes
Okay.
the props
Yes.
and the costumes that if he can't find what he wants, he will make it.
Oh, my goodness.
The socks, the stockings that
Yes.
she has on,
Yes.
he made because he
Yes.
wanted that kind of width stripe.
That particular
so we
one.
bought black and brown fabric,
Uh-huh.
and he makes the socks.
That is unbelievable. Well, that's when you know you're talking about a true artist, because he is true to his work. He wants to do it just the way that he sees it in his mind.
Yes.
And I know to become a painter like that, it takes years and years of experience. And he started out at college. You said he was a professor for a while.
Well, he started out actually, taught 1 year in country school.
Okay.
Right out of high school. They had a program then called normal training. During his senior year in high school, they taught him how to be a teacher. He taught country school, then he got his bachelor's. When he graduated with that, he started in Sidney, Nebraska with junior high and high school.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's actually how we met.
Uh-huh.
My brother was a student of his, and he would come home and say, "You got to meet my art teacher." That was a long time ago.
A long time
And
ago.
then he decided he needed to, there was not enough time to work on his own work, so he thought if we could get on the college level.
Mm-hmm.
So then he got on the college level, got his master's in ceramics and painting, and taught in a private college in Nebraska for 4 years, and then got offered this job at Berea College
Mm-hmm.
for 1 year or maybe 3 as potter in residence, and it did not involve any teaching. He just had to set up a pottery studio within the confines of a classroom so that students could watch him work, and then he was also responsible for firing the kilns and helping restart their student craft industry in ceramics. We thought, okay, let's use that as the transitional year,
Sure.
because he had thought, I'm going to have to get out and practice what I had been preaching.
Mm-hmm.
And it fell all into place.
It was meant to be.
And it was like, well, let's try this before I hit age 40, because in case it fails, maybe I can slip back into the teaching. And he did not have to slip back into the teaching.
He didn't. Certainly did not have to. Okay. Well, is there anything else down here that you would like to share before we go up and meet the artist, Mr. Jim Cantrell? And
Well,
we can go upstairs, or we can show some other pieces
actually,
down here.
We are planning our 47th year anniversary. We need to do a gallery opening, gallery show.
Oh.
And we thought, now what could we do that would be special? And we decided, okay, 47 years, we will do a number of selected works at 47% off.
Oh my goodness, that's
close to 50%.
That is excellent. That is
And we
excellent.
might
What a
even
great
think,
idea.
well, we might just do 50. That's easier to figure than 47.
Well, I know if you have to try to figure that in your head, I certainly
there's
would.
no way. But
No.
it's so that's our goal. I think from now until the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to celebrate in that way. And we've had some wonderful, wonderful art patrons. And it might also be a way to get new patrons, new young people, because
Sure.
over the years, because of his reputation and being in museums, the work gets rather
Certainly.
expensive.
Certainly.
So this would be a way to allow people to start collecting a Cantrell.
Mhm.
And it's just, I don't know, it's pretty wonderful.
Well, you're
excited.
probably not going to believe this, but back when I found that piece that he had done at a plein air event,
Yes.
I believe in New Harmony,
Yes.
in New Harmony,
New Harmony,
Indiana, and it was on the wall, and I kept getting drawn back to it, no matter where I looked. I kept being drawn back to that, and I remember because I got it for 40% off, so it's been 7 years since then.
Okay, because we had thought, well, let's do this more often. So
Yes.
we did it at 40, we did it at 45,
Uh-huh,
and now 47.
uh-huh.
So I'm hoping we can make it to 50
You
years.
will. You definitely will. And I know some of the artwork it's just phenomenal, and just very glad to be here and be able to share some of that.
Thank you.
We're actually with Jim Cantrell, the artist of Cantrell Studios here in Bardstown. And Jim is working hard on a whole new project that he's just started in the last few recent years. And I wish you could see this because can you kind of show them your tools there and just explain to Gary what you're doing?
Make whittling.
He's whittling.
This is a plane, and that's a stick. And I'm gonna make a dowel out of it.
Okay, and where does that go on this ship?
It's gonna go right here.
Oh, okay.
See, that's that part right there.
Uh-huh.
That's called,
Bowsprit.
I can't remember all the names, all the stuff.
Bowsprit.
Bowsprit.
Bowsprit. Okay.
Yep.
And what ship is this going to be?
The Godspeed.
This is the Godspeed. Okay.
That was one of the 3 ships that the Jamestown came over.
Okay.
This is a model of the replica, because they don't know what the real one looked like. They know the measurements or the dimensions, tonnage and all that stuff, but they don't know what it looked like. So they just took made a plan up of ships of that period, which was 16 something, 15 something. And no, 1609 is when they came over, someplace back there in the old days.
A long time ago.
A long time ago. And one of my relatives was not on the original bunch, but he came over on the relief ship. And when we went to Jamestown, they had replicas of these 3 of them, the Godspeed and the Susan Constant. Why it was called that, I don't know. And the Discovery. And I decided to be fun to make a model of all 3 of those.
Uh-huh.
Just for in course country. I never do anything right.
But did it have this pattern along there, just the way you have it?
This is the plans. Well, I don't have I got the plans off the internet. I just plugged in Godspeed plans, sailing ship, and it came up.
Oh.
And this is what there's one that's a little farther along down the road. I kind of, I keep doing it until I get it right.
Okay.
And I keep doing it and gets the bigger, there's my first ones up there. They didn't turn out very good, so I kind of quit right in the middle. So but now I've pretty well got these, and I've got 1 half done in the basement, and then I'll probably quit for a while. And then do the Susan Constant, which I started about a year ago, and I've gotten so far along on it, and I kind of stopped because I wanted to learn something more before I got it. But it's bigger. It was the biggest of the 3. Jeanette, you want to?
I showed it.
You showed it to him?
I did.
Oh, all right. And it's more colorful. And it's very similar to the Mayflower. I mean, the rigging and all that stuff. But that's, and it's fun to do in your old age. It's, then I can't justify, well, I sold one Godspeed, oddly enough. But I'm not in it to sell them, I'm just in it to keep my mind going. But I decided I'm going to try now using them as still lifes and make a painting, and there's my first one over there.
Oh, we'll have to see that.
But it's got a way to go. Not that particular painting, but I need a different composition. And it's I just like to do what I do. I'm interested in it. I'm not.
I know that you have fun doing it too.
Yes.
You've started out with something that you really love, and you have turned that into a wonderful, a lifelong work.
Right. I just every time I change directions. I mean, I get tired of drawing. I'll watercolor. I get tired of watercolor. I'll paint. I get tired of painting. I make boats. And for a long time, I made pots. And just whatever I happen to be interested in at the moment is what I do. And I have no message. That's what artists all have a message. That's what they tell me. The big boys at the Speed Museum and all that stuff. They come to me and they say, "Well, what are you trying to say?" Nothing. I'm just having fun, doing my thing, and I've been fortunate enough to make a living at it.
And I understand this is your 47th anniversary. Jeanette said you've got that date coming up here very soon. 47 years with your private gallery here.
I can't remember that long.
Well, Jeanette assures me that it has been 47 years, and she has told us that she keeps track of all the paintings, archives everything that you do. And
She's the powerhouse.
she is. I know that. I know that she keeps you going, doesn't she?
No, I just she keeps me protected. I just get to hide up here in this little corner and get happy as a clam and do my thing.
And you have this beautiful light coming in that window. That's gotta
It's
help
a little hot
too.
in summer though, when that sunshine, I have to drop the curtains.
But you can see all that coming in, so you're going to have an open house for your 47th anniversary.
Well, she is. I'm just going to stand in a corner and hide.
Well, I know that folks are really interested in, obviously, you don't have to have a message, Jim, because all you have to do is look at the work that you do, look at your paintings, look at everything that you've done from the beginning, starting with the pottery.
They have one thing in common. They all have a good design.
Yes.
And that's the first thing I learned because when I went to college, I knew Rembrandt, I knew the name. I was familiar with Rockwell because Saturday Evening Post. And I had an instructor in my freshman year who said that design is the basis of all art, not only realism, but abstraction, commercial, whatever. It has to have good design. And so I decided I'm going to learn design, and whatever I do is, as long as I think it's good. I don't care what the other people think. Abstract, I love abstracts, good abstract, if it's got good design. A lot of people think, well, you're a realist, you shouldn't like rap, but I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, we were lucky enough to see one of your paintings out there in the hallway. Jeanette showed us one with the abstract, and she was telling a little about how that was done, how that started, and
The Mylar.
the Mylar.
You you could combine abstract with realism, and he's very comfortable with that aspect.
Well, I've tried pure abstract, and I didn't know when I got done. I mean, I didn't know when I was finished with it, so the hell with it. I had one instructor.
If personally I had to describe what your message is, I would say joy. And I know that that's probably far from what maybe you thought that you were doing, but you bring so much joy into the work that you do. The intricacy, the detail, everything that you put into them is just incredible.
Well, the detail isn't all that great, but it's believable. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, you go to a good dock boat or whatever they're called, model boat museum, and you can see some fantastic things. I mean, I couldn't even begin to. I could, but it'd take a whole lifetime to do one. But no, they grew up with it. But Annapolis Naval Academy has got a fantastic museum of boats that old ships. I mean, fancy one. These little tiny paintings, and they even put stuff on the inside. This thing's hollow.
Well, I think this just looks beautiful. It's incredible. And the thing is, you do take joy in your work, and you enjoy what you do. When you get up in the morning, well,
I tried teaching. I didn't enjoy that. Well, I did for 14 years, but I didn't get along too well with administrators. Teaching was fun. Then the government got involved and ruined the whole damn thing. So I'm glad I'm out.
well, we're real glad too, because we got to enjoy all the wonderful things that you turn to later in life, and just keep changing and just keep evolving. Is there anything that you can think of you might do next?
Pardon?
Something that you have not tried yet?
Bronze casting.
Bronze
But
casting.
I kind of gave up on that. Wanted to do it years ago when pottery is very close to it, because I had that kiln and I could have worked it in there. I tried glass blowing once, but broken beer bottles didn't work too well. And I gave that up, but I would like to have done bronze casting.
Well, I think we can look forward, though, to a lot more years with you here in your beautiful gallery and just creating more artwork for the world to enjoy. And truly, Jim,
I don't care if they enjoy it as long as I do.
Well, I think they will. I think they will. I know I've really enjoyed getting to know you and Jeanette both, and to just experience all the things that you have been through and everything that you share, and just really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.